contract with Jalen come together so quickly?
There you go. It's your turn.
We're turning. Yeah, I think you got to give tremendous credit to Jalen, Nicole Lynn, the people internally, Jake Rosenberg, Bryce Johnson, really just the way that everyone kind of made an effort to do this in a way that was really win-win. I think it's a heck of a deal for Jalen. I think it's a heck of a deal for the Eagles, and I think those are really the best kind of deals. And really, when I think about Jalen coming here, there's so many people deserve a lot of credit for where we are right now. It starts with Jalen and his work ethic and his determination. From the first day we drafted him, he had a vision of what kind of player he's going to be, and then just everyone has been around him, who's rallied around him, and it's a great story. We're certainly not at the end of the story. I think we're really at the beginning of the story, but just really excited about doing this together with him and having him a part of this team and having that done in a way that really worked out well for both sides.
Nick, did you ever get involved in the process?
In the negotiations of the contract? No.
What was your reaction? What was your involvement in terms of,
Like the Eagles.
they never said if you wanted this guy or not?
Jalen?
Yeah,
obviously I wanted him.
And Jeff, he actually wanted to be here. He wanted to be here too.
So, no, that's not my job.
what was your reaction?
I was juiced. I was excited, yeah. Obviously, Jalen and I have a great relationship, and, as a coach to player and player to coach, and, I really value those relationships that we have, and obviously his play has spoken for itself. So you're getting a guy that one of my favorite things, Jeff, is, and I felt like when I left Indy, I missed out on this. There was a lot of guys that signed contracts in Indy after I left. I'm like, man, I always really like that part of it, where guys get rewarded for what they've done, and I'm able to be there with them and be happy for them and still be able to coach them. And so that's kind of how I felt. Like, I guess we've signed a couple guys since to long-term deals since I've been here, but
for last year,
that was special.
The season.
It was special.
The other thing about it too is I think this probably goes without saying, but the fact that Jeffrey was willing to do this and commit to it and give us the support to do it and the green light to do it, a year early, this kind of contract and the trust that he had. Not only in us, but how excited he was to do it with Jalen. And, because that's hard to do. You're doing it early. You're doing it a year early. You obviously have the tag. You have all these things at your disposal. And him recognizing, that this was the best thing to do for this team and this franchise. So, just him doing that and him trusting us to do a deal that made sense on both sides, he deserves a tremendous amount of credit.
Midterm planning, long-term planning, to know that you have the quarterback, in terms of both the draft and the tag, to know you have the quarterback under contract.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the deal, that by doing it at the time we did, and by being able to work together to do things that were important to them and important to us. And for us, it's about flexibility around him. This is the ultimate team game, and he needs to have talented people around him. And Jalen recognized that, Nicole recognized that, and so to be able to do this in a way that also gives us an opportunity to get good players. And then, we had kind of planned for this. We had picks. We went into free agency kind of planning for this, getting comp picks. We'll get 4 comp picks next year. And so, already, it's kind of unusual, certainly since I'm here, I don't remember, being in a situation where we have 12 picks before this year's draft for next year's draft. We'll probably have 2 after this draft, but, I think a little joke. Thank you. One laugh. Courtesy laugh. I didn't even get the courtesy laugh from you. But I think, for us, obviously, we got a chance to plan, and we got a chance to work around it and build around him and some of the guys that we have on long-term contracts, and that's exciting. But we got to continue to do the right thing. I think we've had tremendous meetings leading up to this draft. I think we've got a really good process in place. That doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, but I'm
Howie, being able to keep the cap numbers as low as they are for Jalen, who gets credit or deserves credit for that, and is part of it ownership being willing to kind of give cash up front?
Well, there's no doubt it all starts with Jeffrey and his commitment to provide us every resource possible on and off the field to make this a championship caliber football team. So it starts with him, and then we got tremendous people inside this building who have great ideas, and led in that department by Jake and Bryce. And I think sometimes they come to me and they got to slow it down and talk to me like I'm in third grade and explain it to me so I can get on the phone and explain it to somebody else. And understanding the ramifications of what we're doing. We're not pulling the wool over the eyes of anyone, any players, or Jeffrey. When we explain what we're doing here, we have a plan that doesn't just last for this year or next year. We're not trying to do anything where 5 or 6 years from now the Philadelphia Eagles won't be able to compete. I think that we understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, and you got to have a willingness with the players to also want to do things that's right for the team. And Jalen and Nicole deserve a lot of credit as well.
Jalen's on long term. How have you been thinking through whether it's schematic or coaching or personnel changes? How do you make sure that he stays healthy?
Yeah, I wasn't here's what I definitely wasn't doing. Jalen's on a rookie contract. I'm just going to be reckless and do whatever we want with him. And so we were very careful. I know, and he got injured. He's gotten injured. But we didn't pay him more to do less. I'll say that. Right. Will we still think about how to protect him? Yeah, because that's our job to protect our quarterback. But Jalen does a lot of things really well, and we want to utilize the skills that he has so he can continue to play at a high level. And so, to me, we'll continue to go about our business the same way we went about our business. We'll always think about protecting him first, but we didn't pay him more to do less.
Along those lines, it's obviously a massive. No, this is my turn. It's obviously a massive investment per organization. How do both of you view your roles in protecting that investment and then maximizing it?
Yeah.
You and Jalen, or me and you?
Me and you. You want to go first?
No, I asked you.
No, he said, how do you and him, you and I?
Both of us.
Yeah, we just got to continue to do a good job of developing it as Howie. I'll just answer it for both of us. Howie's going to say we're going to bring in guys to help Jalen do his job better, and I'm going to say the guys that Howie brings in, I'm going to do my best, and our coaching staff's going to do our best to maximize their potential as far as how we develop them fundamentally and as a football player, and putting them in the positions to be able to make plays. Go ahead.
Starts with a good pass.
And then my job is to, where was I on that? That's our job, is to do that. And like I said to Bo, we're going to continue to do things. We'll have new wrinkles next year, obviously. We're going to figure out ways to do the things that we've done better, how we can coach them better, how we can get our guys in position to make the plays better. And we'll grow on the scheme that we've had and to maximize Jalen's ability. But make no mistake about it, that's our job, right, to do those things. The reason Jalen's in this position where he's signed this big contract is the fact that, I've said this a million times, nobody knows what Jalen Hurts' ceiling is. Why? Because he loves football, right? He's tough. He has high football IQ, right? And so the guys that have those things, and he's competitive, right? The guys that have those things tend to reach their ceiling. So he's just going to continue to rise, and so he's a big part of this too, because he's no man suddenly becomes different than his cherished thoughts and habits. He's going to continue to do the things he's done, to this date, because that's who he is, right? And so we all obviously have a part of it.
You good on me, Dave?
Did he answer your part well enough?
I just said you're going to bring in guys.
Okay.
How you've been a part of several franchise quarterback deals since you've been with the Eagles. How have they informed you in terms of looking at Jalen's mental makeup and
and how he will be able to handle a significant amount of pay, being the face of the franchise, and doing all the necessary things that need to be done when you're in that role.
Yeah, I don't want to get in the comparison game because I don't think that's fair. What I would say in terms of Jalen, the one thing you know about with Jalen is that the money is not going to change him. The money's not going to affect him. You know, my first conversation with him after he signed that contract, he was just telling me how determined he was, and I know how hard he's working in the off season. I know how much football matters to him. I know how much improving at football matters to him. I know how much he wants to be coached. I know, how important it is to try to deliver a championship to the city. Obviously all of us disappointed we fell short this year. And so I don't have any doubt in my mind that giving Jalen this contract will not change the person that Jalen is. No doubt.
Talked in the past about how, can I just follow up on that? You talked in the past about how part of your evaluation, part of your player evaluation is how a kid will handle a lot of money in his pocket.
For sure.
How does that inform something like this? I mean, is that even a conversation, or with him, do you just kind of?
Yeah, it's a conversation. It goes like this. It's not going to affect Jalen. But we do discuss it. Yeah. We do discuss it, but it's like we have no doubt.
I mean, we've been with the guy for 3 years, and you go about his daily habits and everything like that. It's just you know the guy.
Right. Now, of course, he'll probably come in a Ferrari. On Monday, he'll drive it. You're right. Jalen, if you're listening to this, rent it.
Howie.